Hello everyone, welcome to this introduction to Docker video. In the world of modern software development and deployment, Docker has emerged as a game changer. In this video, I will tell you everything you need to know about Docker. In just a few minutes, we will explore how Docker simplifies the application management, enhances efficiency, and eliminates the compatibility issue. So without any further delay, let's get started. So these are the key points that we will be discussing in this video. Firstly, we will start from the problem we are facing nowadays and how Docker solved this problem. Then we will discuss about the Docker is, then the benefits of Docker and the components of Docker, like what are the Docker images, what is the Docker hub, and what are Docker containers, how we can create any of them. I will show you the real world example. Then we will discuss about the Docker desktop. I will show you my Docker desktop that where we can contain our containers, where the Docker images are present, and how we can deal with all of them. Then I will show you the commands to create the Docker image, to create the Docker container, etc. Let's start with the problem we were facing. Configuring servers for web app deployment is complex, especially when we are moving the applications. Like when we deploy application on like web application on any of the server, we have to make a lot of settings on the server where we are deploying the application, like installing the operating system, frameworks, and the packages. But when we shift our application from one server to another server, we have to make these changes again. It can be huge hassle for bigger projects. An app working on one server may not work on another server. Docker solves this problem for us. Docker gives us the concept of containers. We can create our containers and run these containers on any of the server. So what actually the Docker is? Docker is an open source platform that allows you to automate the deployment, scaling, and management of application in a Docker containers. I will explain what the Docker containers are later in this video. The Docker allows us to easily develop and deploy applications inside a neatly packaged virtualized environment, which means the app runs the same no matter where they are and no matter on which machine they are running. So let's discuss the benefits that Docker provides us. The first benefit that Docker provides us is high performance. The Docker containers are always high performers. The second one is the space efficiency. It always uses less space as it able to reuse the file efficiently. Same file can be used by multiple Docker containers. The third one is simplified development and deployment. The Docker makes it easy to develop and deploy application inside a containerized environment. Another benefit of using Docker is it eliminates the repetitive setup, means it avoids the hassle of installing the operating system, framework, and packages again and again. There are many other benefits as well. So let's discuss the main thing, the components of Docker. Firstly, we will start from the Docker file, which then build into the Docker image, and then will run the Docker image as Docker container. We begin with the Docker file, which can be built into Docker image and which can be run into the Docker container. Before discussing the components of Docker, there is another important concept, that is Docker Hub. Docker Hub is a service provided by Docker for finding and sharing the container images. You can view the Docker Hub from this website. So this is the Docker Hub where you can find large number of Docker images already provided. Like you can find the Docker image for Nginx, for MongoDB, for Node, for Redis. You can search any Docker images that you need from here, from this field. So let's move back to the presentation. So the first component of Docker is the Docker file. Docker file is just like a blueprint. It is a text document that instructs the how Docker images will be built. I will show you how you can create the Docker file in this video. This is how the Docker file looks like. First, you select a base image to start by using the from keyword. Like here, I am using Ubuntu as my base image. Then you can run any command such as the downloading, installing, or running any software. Here I am just echoing the thanks for watching text. From the Docker file, we will build our Docker images. Docker images are just a set of instructions to build a Docker container. It is just like a template. Docker images also act as a starting point when using Docker. We can create our Docker images on our server after installing our required settings, dependencies, and the packages. We can also move our Docker images from one system to another system. Here comes the most important concept of Docker, that is Docker container. Docker containers are extracted from the Docker images, deployed to any machine without any compatibility issue. Like we can use a single Docker container to any number of system or server. These containers running on systems or server act like a microcomputers. So a single Docker container act like a single microcomputer. Each Docker container has its own specific job. Docker containers are intelligent that and they can only occupy the resources that they need. This is another benefit of using Docker containers. So that's it from the theory part of Docker. In the next video, I will explain how you can practically use the Docker container images, Docker containers, and how you can create your Docker files. In the next video, we will discuss about what the Docker desktop app is, how you can download or install Docker in your system, how you can check what the version of Docker, how you can create Docker files in your any of your project, how you can create the Docker images from your Docker file, and how you can run single or multiple Docker containers. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much.